Hi, everyone. We're going to get started in just a moment. We're just waiting for some people to continue to log in. As we wait for those individuals, I just wanted to introduce Mr. Garofoli here from our middle school. Does an incredible job, not only as a teacher, but as a facilitator for professional development for our own staff. We're excited to have this opportunity for all of our parents throughout this year. These will be our first sets of parent trainings that we'll have to bring you up to speed with some of the latest applications that we've chosen to use, some of the things that we're investing in this year to help students as we're in this flux, this hybrid environment, and if there's ever a potential for remote instruction, that you're well prepared ahead of that. Scott, tonight we'll talk about Google Classroom, which is our main platform for managing our learning activities for grades K to 12. Kindergarten through second grade is going to start to use an application called Seesaw that we'll have a training on later on this month. In addition to that, some of our other items are Edpuzzle and Nearpod. And we're going to round things off at the beginning of October with this first round of trainings with our librarian, Victoria from Hampton Bays Library, that'll talk about Brain Fuse. And if you wanted to look at that before we have a chance to have that training, that's a tutoring service that's offered for free throughout Suffolk County in both English and Spanish. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you have friends that have not received the link for tonight, you can easily share the email that you received. We're going to start to put this out like we did today on Facebook. So please feel free. All they need is that link, and all they need to do is just register, and they'll get the same information you got in order to log on tonight. So thank you again, and I'll pass it over to Mr. Garofoli. What we're going to do is, if you've been in our webinars before, we'll do the same format. Utilize the chat for just comments that you'd like to say in respect to tonight. And then there's also a Q&A feature. If you have any questions, as Mr. Garofoli goes throughout his presentation, you can put them in there. What's great there is that they're visible for everyone. And if I'm able to answer them as Mr. Garofoli goes along, I'll do so. Otherwise, we'll pause at some moments for him to take a look at those questions so that you can get the information you need to help support your children. So we're glad to be back. We love seeing their faces. We're hoping that we're reaching every single child that's chosen to be remote as well. We've done gone through some great efforts to make sure that we connect in every possible way. So we're just so happy that the year has started and that we're underway. So again, I'll pass it off to Mr. Garofoli, and thank you again for attending tonight.
Hi, everybody. Like Mr. Carlson said, I'm Scott Garofoli, Dean of Students at the middle school, and also STEM teacher at the middle school, former 5th grade teacher. I'm also a Google certified teacher, which gives me a little bit in the background of this. I think some of the questions you may have, I'll have answers to. If I don't have an answer to a question, I always know how to find it, and I can get that to you at a later time. So feel free to ask away, and whatever I can answer, I will along the way. It really is great to be back, and I feel like it's been such a long time coming to see students in the building. I wouldn't say it's exactly normal as it used to be, but we're inching closer. So it is great to have the students back. What I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen, and we'll talk a little bit about what I did so we can see really what this looks like from the student perspective, because that's what we're going to look at. Often some teachers may discuss, or they may show you some things, and they're showing you their teacher, kind of what it looks like on the teacher side. I really want you to see obviously what it looks like from the student side. So I'm going to share my screen at this point, and you'll see what my screen has, and we'll go through what this looks like as a student, and we'll walk you through the nuts and bolts. just really to get a real good walkthrough of kind of the basic features. And again, we'll continue to field questions if there's other things, or along the way, if we need another one that's a little more advanced, we can do that as well. All right, so at this point, I'm going to share my screen with you. All right, Mike, can you confirm with your audio that we are shared at this point?
Yep, you're looking good.
All right. Okay, so Google Classroom. Google Classroom is accessed if students go to, I'll actually start right at the beginning. If students go to google.com, and right now I'm signed, this is our student account. They can access Google Classroom right from their Google Apps grid. All right, it's right here. And this will take you to Google Classroom. All the student classes will show up. I had our technology department make a fake student for us, Alan Turing. And that's so I can really show you a couple of different aspects of what you might see in the Google Classroom. So this is where your Google Classroom home, this is where all the classes would show up. So here's our Google Classroom 101, which is tonight's session, but this is a classroom itself. And there may be other classrooms here, science, math, social studies. There might be, could be upwards of 10, 15 classes, whatever it is, depending on the grade level, depending on how many different teachers they see. Obviously, a high school student would have more classrooms than an elementary school student. Right away, you do see that there's certain things it's going to update you on right from this tab. You can see there's an essay due Friday. There's an Ed Puzzle video due on Thursday. So you can see some upcoming items right from this screen, but let's head on into the classroom. So the first thing you're brought to is what we call the stream. The stream is really everything that gets posted to the classroom. Doesn't matter if it's a material, resource, a packet that the teacher wants to share. Everything comes into the stream. It could be updates, reminders, information. So if we take a look at our stream here, I can see the teacher posted, "Good morning, everyone. Thursday will be school picture day. Remember to dress to impress." All right, so just some information there. You also see the classwork comes up in here. All right, any clipboards are classwork. So the classwork also pops up in the stream. You get everything in the stream. You also see, just as you did on the homepage, your upcoming items. Also on your first screen here, and this is important for the students to check because it's really going to show them what they have to be working on, what's coming up. Another key piece that you're going to see on most of the home screens, I say most because I'll talk about different settings and why it may not be the case, but their Google Meet link. As students, this is really, if you're more familiar with the term Zoom, this is the video conferencing feature for Google. Most teachers will use this Meet link here. Sometimes they keep it hidden though. And if they keep it hidden, then they may just post it into their stream at times when they want the students to access it. So if it's not there, that's just a teacher setting. They've decided not to show it. It's a little more restrictive in terms of making sure maybe if students are trying to access when they shouldn't, this may not be there. It's up to the teacher to make this visible or invisible. If it is invisible, when they want the students to meet, they'll usually just post the link within a stream item or a stream announcement. So the next thing I'll take us to is where the students are going to access most of their work. So if they go to classwork, we're going to take a look at several assignments. And now what I did was I posted several assignments and the student interacted with these in a bunch of different ways because this is what you may come across as a parent. I'm going to take a look starting right at the beginning. Assignment number 1, science current events. And again, these are all just mock assignments. If the student clicks on it, you can notice it's grayed out. It's a light gray. That's a quick way to tell for the student and both the parent that something has been submitted. Okay, they've turned in and submitted this assignment. Dark gray has not been done. Okay, so that's a quick reference. If it's a light gray or grayed out, or they can be another color. It could be blue and gray. But once it's grayed out, light gray like that, it means it has been submitted. So if we take a look at this first science current event, okay, notice a couple of things. Okay, if it's turned in late, it will say it was turned in late, which happens occasionally. Teachers will accept that, of course. And we can take a look at the document itself. Even after it's turned in, we can take a look at the document. And as it loads here, okay, use for science events. And oh, there's something interesting that happens here. And I do want to point this out. We've had this conversation at times. The student turned in the document, which is wonderful. It looks turned in to the student. When the teacher looks, it looks turned in, and that's wonderful. When the parent looks, it says it's turned in. You can turn in a document without doing any work in it. So if we look, all the students did was write boo science, and they did not do anything else in here. This happens occasionally where maybe, and sometimes by accident, where the student turns something in before it's done. And it does cause some confusion sometimes. So, no, it says they turned in the assignment. I don't understand why you're saying he didn't do the assignment. This often ends up being the case where it was turned in and maybe it was turned in without being complete, or maybe it was half complete, or maybe the student made a mistake and they turned in a wrong version. It can happen. It helps to check the document. So even though it's turned in, this is an assignment that is late and both not complete. All right, so that's one scenario I want to take you through that's possible. Severe weather here. This is another assignment that you can see right now is missing. And I'm going to show you also an easy way to kind of check on, versus clicking on every single one, to check on these items, what's missing, what's been handed in. There's another way to do that, and I will go through that in a couple of minutes. This is missing. It hasn't been turned in. All right, they had to watch a video and they had to do an assignment that went with it. It's not done at this point. Next one, Newton's second law. All right, this is turned in. If we take a look at it, the assignment's complete. It looks good. Wonderful. All right. Another thing here, if you want more, this is kind of the short version, but it has instructions, it has the name, it has the documents. But if you want to see it in a broader scope here, so here's a good example. If I go back to this first assignment, you can view the assignment and you're going to get a more robust, and it's all focused on this assignment itself. So it tells you the exact amount of points, when it was due. It tells you it was turned in late. You still have access to the document. And this is another piece I want to go over. I had in my notes, and I'm like, okay, I need to go over that. Directions are here. Okay, there's a private comment from the teacher. Alan, you may not love science, but you still need to complete this assignment. All right, because he wrote boo science. At this point, the student, or as a parent, you can have the student unsubmit. They will not be able to work on the assignment once it's submitted. So that's the thing too. The students, and sometimes don't realize, they're trying to work on the assignment. And they're saying, well, I already submitted to you. I can't do anything with it. They need to click the unsubmit button. And once they unsubmit, they will be able to then re-access the document, go back into it, work on it, and turn it in again. Okay? So that's, if you find that items are turned in but not done, that's kind of the process for unsubmitting and getting back to that. So let me bring us back to our classwork. All right. This one is turned in as well. We looked at that. It was good. It was complete. Now, another thing that may happen is teachers will often use other tools to engage with the students. For this, for instance, this tech tool, an Edpuzzle, a very common one that teachers use. And there are many others as well. Flipgrid, sometimes they link out, as Mr. Carlson said, using Seesaw as well, and kind of using it in conjunction with Google Classroom at times, and many other tools. Nearpod, these are all different tools that sometimes the teachers use, and they link out. So Google Classroom really serves as our hub for providing materials and sometimes providing links. This links out to an assignment they would do at Edpuzzle. And I'm not going to go through the Edpuzzle tool today. That's for another time. But it has embedded questions. And this actually gets submitted to the teacher through Edpuzzle. So really, assignment's happening there. So if I go back, this, all the students really have to do on this type of assignment is they're going to complete it in Edpuzzle, and then they're going to mark it as done. There's no document being turned in here. There's nothing happening there. It's going to be, so there will be times when assignments are actually turned in on an external site, like Edpuzzle. After they watch the video, they answer the questions, and they submit through there. That's just, I thought it was an important piece to bring up, only because, and I'll mark it as done. Okay. That's something that does happen frequently, depending on the class, sometimes more than others. Not everything is done within the Google suite of tools. There are times when teachers are going to be using external tools as well. All right. Next up is the an upcoming assignment. So I want to talk a little bit about this. Let's view the assignment. So this is the upcoming assignment. It's due September 18th. All right. And this is another aspect. Often teachers are going to create the Google document or the Google slide that goes with it. And the students click on it. The assignment's there. They complete it. Depending on the grade level. High school, more so. As the students get older, this will be more frequent. Right? It's asking the students in a Google Doc to please discuss the following in essay form. So it's all these questions they need to work into an essay. For this, it's very possible at times that students are going to have to create their own document. So from here, they should be able to add or create, and they're going to create a new Google Doc. And from here, they'll be able to open this. And it's creating a Google Doc specifically for this assignment. It labels it for them, okay? And they would begin their work. You know, whatever it is, Alan Turing, you know, due September 18th, whatever it is, right? And they begin their work. This is my work. And they begin answering the questions. When they're complete, they can turn in right from here if they would like. They can turn in right from here, but they can also turn in from the last page as well. All right, so once you can see now you have a turn in button here once that document is created. A couple other features I want you to be aware of. At this point, I'm working two computers, so bear with me for a sec. You're going to see it's possible, depending on the nature of the assignment and how and why, that the teacher may enter your student's document. Okay, this is a nice piece for, especially if we do have to go, knock on wood, hopefully we never do, but if we have to go full remote, there are certain things the teacher can do in terms of providing edits on the fly. This is great, whatever it is. That would be more of a comment, but they can add right to the document live. You can see right here, the student and whoever would see that there is someone else in the document. There it is, that's who it is. And also, they can add comments. So you see me, this is me on another computer as my actual teacher self. I might add a comment on the side. Great start to your essay. All right, and there you go. We get this comment. And again, it could be notes for improvements. This does happen live, but at the same time, this may happen asynchronously as well, and the student is expected to maybe go back and take a look and edit up whatever they were working on. So this is kind of a blend of some Google Doc items as well as Google Classroom, but this can happen live within the Google Classroom kind of ecosystem here. In regards to once it's ready, we're good to go, again, we're going to turn in. And you are turned in. One of the last things I wanted to discuss is a nice component here. Now, it's not going to look as robust because there's only one, our mock student here is only one class. But when we click right here, these 3 lines next to our classroom, this kind of would bring up all of our classes. So these are the enrolled classes. So you're going to see all a list of their classes. Below our Google Classroom 101, you might see whatever your algebra, whatever other classes here. The to-do list is a nice piece, and I said I'd come back to this. The to-do list is a nice piece that allows the students to kind of look at what they have to do upcoming for all their classes. And I did just submit a couple. So I'm going to see what that looks like at this point. Nothing assigned. I just submitted all the assignments. So I'm actually going to go unsubmit one so we can see what that looks like. So if we unsubmit, which we talked about, we click on the view the assignment, unsubmit. Because I do want you to take a look at kind of what that looks like. So in our to-do list, we have an assigned item coming up on Friday. And this to-do list will be all the classes. So this week, what's coming up, which is a very helpful feature for students. And a lot of them don't even realize it's there. This one's a big piece. Missing assignments. All right, so we have 2 missing assignments. So this will give you missing assignments for any and all of the classes, right? And this is this week, last week, and earlier than that. And done. This is done and turned in. Okay, I don't have to worry about that. Can see what has been completed. So these are all the kind of quick ways to check the 3 statuses of your assignments. For students, for parents to check their students, their children. These are quick ways to kind of go ahead and do that. At this point, I'm gonna take a breath and see if we have questions. I'm going to stop share for a second and see if we can get to the Q&A. Okay, so in the comment section, do our kids' comments show to everyone? There are 2 types of comments. And I will share and I'll explain both. So I'm just going to jot that down so I know to go back and show you both. Okay. So I'm reading through the Q&As right now. Sometimes child says turned in an assignment but says missing. He says teacher hasn't graded it yet. The grading of the assignment will not affect the missing or turned in status on Google Classroom. Many teachers do not grade on Google Classroom, mainly because they have to put grades into eSchool anyway. So they use it more as a way to collect the work. Some teachers do, but it's really a teacher by teacher thing if they actually grade it and return the grade on Google Classroom. Some do, but some don't. I don't want to put that there's a specific expectation there. So that being said, if they turn it in, if they turned it in, then it shouldn't say missing at any point. Once it's turned in, the missing notation should go away. And then when you look at those categories, it should help. I will go back to talk about the comments real quick. So I'm going to reshare again. All right. So if we go back in just real quick, and it's great for both students and parents to know, if they comment within here, it says add class comment. They could add class comments on any of this stuff. And that is visible to all, right? That is visible to all. And that is something that, again, unless you've been asked to comment on the assignment, to comment within the stream, it typically doesn't happen very often. Sometimes they will have students engage in a discussion. Occasionally, you can do a discussion within Google Classroom, but I find it's not as common because there's better ways to do that. And now with things like Google Meet, having those discussions sometimes can be a lot more engaging, actually looking at each other face to face. So any comments in here are all public. Everyone can see them. But that being said, if we go to our classwork, and I'm going to go back to this assignment 1, view assignment. This is the assignment that the teacher commented that you didn't really do the assignment. You may not love science. You still need to complete it. All these, once they're into here, these are all private comments. So the students can provide on this side a private comment to the teacher that only goes to the teacher and is not public. Over here, these are add class comment. So you see it does notate, it gives you a notation, add private comment, add class comment. So you know whether this is going to be something that's public, or maybe the student wants to say, yeah, sorry, I really didn't understand what to do. I was having a rough day. Could we do a one-on-one, Google Meet for 5 minutes, right? So, or can we discuss in class, or can we discuss with whatever it is, and they can send that off to the teacher. So this area over here is where the private comments would be. So there is that feature, because obviously if you have a very specific question you don't want to share with the class, that's where you want to do that. Sometimes there are comments for the class. If that's the case, or if the teacher's asking you to do that, that would be on this side or directly into your stream, depending on where they're asking you to post. Let's see. Teachers can toggle their comments on the stream, which is something that they can do. There's a bunch of settings, and the settings continue to kind of evolve. Whether what is shown on each screen. I'm looking at my second screen as we talk about it. So they can turn off so that students can post and comment on the stream. Students could only comment on the stream, or only the teachers can post and comment on the stream. So the teachers can restrict that in a couple of different ways. So yes, there are ways that teachers will shut off the students from posting or even commenting at all. Hopefully, I don't think they like to do it if they can avoid it. There's a certain mutual respect there. Sometimes things go awry and they may have to turn that off. I think we answered that. And we answered that one. Do our students receive a similar training on the various functionalities of Google Classroom? A lot of teachers do walk through most of the features. But I do think it's maybe something we could be even more proactive about is making sure, like the things like the to-do list, like you point out, that that's a piece that we make sure we point out to the students, things that we can help to make them more successful, without a doubt. Most teachers do some sort of walkthrough at the beginning, but we can kind of make sure that even during the advisory times, which is a nice time, that we make sure we highlight some of the key components. And again, I talk about advisory. I'm thinking from a middle school lens. I believe the high school has advisory as well. So that's something we can look at possibly incorporating, just to make sure if we touch on those things for the students that maybe don't know that yet. when live instruction starts for students at home, either full remote or hybrid, will they join each class via Google Meet in each class in Google Classroom? Mike, if you want to chime in, I believe they'll be accessing the Google Meet through Google Classroom, if that's the question.
Right, so grades grades 6 through 12, when we start the live stream, will connect through Google Meet. That'll be the sole platform for connection. As Mr. Garofalo was saying, it's either going to be posted as a Meet link within the Google Classroom, or it's going to be distributed by the teacher to the students beforehand, so they know how to access the specific Google Meet for that period that they're attending.
Are there any other questions, any other concerns, anything else we can answer? Hopefully that gave you a kind of a better understanding of just the navigation of kind of the different scenarios you might come across and different things you might see within the classroom. But again, if you think of anything that pops up in your head 15 minutes from now, after the session is over, please email. I'm happy to answer anything that we can. And if we can't answer it, we'll find the answer for you.
Thank you, Ms. Garofalo. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Thank you, everyone that attended tonight. If you want to attend future trainings, I'm just going to put up, while we close out tonight, I'm just going to put up the letter that we have here that we sent out previously. We also posted these dates on Facebook. The links that are on Facebook now, they will go directly to the webinar registration, so you don't have to wait for an email from me. If you go to Facebook, you'll see that these you can register directly. On Thursday, we'll do a similar training in Spanish with Mrs. Rena from our elementary school. 22nd will be Nearpod. This is something that we feel will bring our engagement between teachers and students, whether that be in class or remotely, to another level. So you'll definitely want to take a look at what's available there. Seesaw is another learning management system for K-2 students. We feel like it's more user-friendly. There's more things that we can utilize in respect to our younger students, and it's very engaging. That's going to be done by Dr. Della Speranza. Ed Puzzle is another application that we invested in this summer that we used frequently throughout last spring. So we're excited to bring that to you as well. And that's Mr. Perez from the high school. And then again, as I had said, our librarian is going to bring us through the use of BrainFuse and also how to access things, resources remotely through our library. I see that we have some additional questions in the Q&A.
Yes, I just took a look at them, Mike. I think they might be more for you.
Will teachers' hours be on Google Meet? What students will be doing when they live stream is be following their schedule. We're going to be sending out this week notification to parents explaining just that, what to expect on remote Mondays. If your child's from 7 through 12, grade 7 through 12, will have remote Mondays. We're excited on those days to offer not only some office hours for students to meet with their teachers or collaborate with their teachers in both the middle school and high school from grades 7 through 12, but also we're going to be featuring some social and emotional learning classes, some college and career classes that are going to be put on by our guidance counselors, our psychologists, our social workers, and a number of different people throughout here that are going to lend support to the students that are home. Just reading through here. So again, what we'll do is we're going to post this video, and Mr. Garofalo is also going to share with all of you a link to some helpful material that he's put together. So we'll share that with staff as well, so that if some of the features we've organized tonight and have explained, some of our faculty are new to using Google Classroom as well, so we'll be able to point those out to teachers. As far as extra help, as I had said, on those Mondays, there'll be posted office hours. Notification will be coming out in regard to that, so that you'll know which department is available at what hour on Monday specifically if your child's in grades 7 through 12. So that will come out this week. As far as the last question in regard to attending online only, if your child is live streaming, then at that point, if they're in grades 6 through 12, then the purple and white for the live streaming will not apply. Right now, with these hybrid days where we've had 50% capacity, if your son is remote full-time, is that they would only complete those assignments that are posted once. If they're different assignments, then I would say complete all of them, but I'm not sure which teacher, and you might want to reach out to the teacher specifically to answer that question. Okay. Scott, did you want to share that document, or did you want
me
to
to put
email
it? Do you want me to put it into the
chat?
Sure, I could do that. Let me just pull it up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to link into the chat for everybody. And what it is it just helps to outline a lot of some of the things that we did today, but it has a lot of helpful kind of curated tutorials for you. So whether it's Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Meet, it's all little mini tutorials that may help you work through an item when you don't have access to the teacher, or your question is not going to be answered with the immediacy that you need. This is something that can help you, hopefully, and can just provide a little extra information if you need it. Again, it is just an extra kind of resource document for you, and hopefully it helps. If it does, that's wonderful. So I'm going to drop that link right now, right into the chat feature. I guess it's not automatically hyperlinked. You would have to cut and paste that.
All right, just checking the Q&A one more time. Really appreciate everybody's time in coming out. Please, share the word. That these are some great informative sessions. Thank you again, Mr. Garofalo, for all your efforts.
Absolutely.
And if any parents have additional questions after we leave, feel free to give me a call or send me an email, and we'd be happy to help. So have a great evening, everybody. And what I'll do, in case you're not too quick with copy and pasting that hyperlink, is we'll post that to our website, and we'll announce to parents where we collect that, but I'll also send everybody that attended tonight an email as well. So thank you, everyone, and have a great evening. Thanks.